Today is Thursday, Parashat Bamidbar. We're just a couple of days before the holiday of Matan Torah, the holiday of Shavuot, which will be this coming Saturday night, Sunday and Monday here in the diaspora. In Israel, they have only one day, which should be Sunday. And it's a day that celebrates the great, great revelation at Har Sinai when Hashem gave us the Torah as a gift. And in our synagogues, the Moroccan synagogue, we have a custom to read a ketubah. Ketubah is a marriage contract. When a groom and bride are under the chuppah, we read for them the ketubah. Well, the ketubah that we read on Shavuot represents the marriage between Hashem, who's the groom, Am Yisrael is the bride, and the Torah is that marriage contract that connects us. In truth, the Torah is what connects us, Am Yisrael, as a people, as a nation, but also individually, each of us, with Hashem, through the Torah, the learning Torah and fulfilling His mitzvot. So the question is asked, if we're celebrating that great event of receiving the Torah, why is it that in the Kiddush we say, Zecher Yetziat Mitzrayim, in remembrance of the Exodus from Egypt? In truth, the Exodus from Egypt was the beginning of a project, so to speak, that really culminated, and the destination was receiving the Torah on Har Sinai. But still, we could say, Zecher Yom Matan Torah, in remembrance, we're celebrating in remembrance of that great day when we received the Torah. But actually, the Torah is given every single day. Any person that sits down to learn Torah, that is Matan Torah at that moment. So Matan Torah, the receiving of the Torah and connecting with Hashem through that Torah that He gave it to us as a gift, is not just a one-time event that took place over 33 centuries ago, but it's actually something that renews itself every single moment that we sit down and learn Torah. Every single moment when we fulfill the mitzvot of the Torah, that's a moment of Matan Torah. So yes, Zecher Yetziat Mitzrayim, the Exodus was an event in history. But the idea of Matan Torah is not an event in history. It did happen at that time, but it's a continuous event that continues and renews itself every single time that we learn Torah, every single moment that we either learn or fulfill the mitzvot of the Torah. So that's why it's not just in remembrance of that time. It's something that happens every day. And in truth, the Torah is what connects us, not just connects us with Hashem, not just as a nation, as a people, but each of us individually has that connection with Hashem through the Torah Kedosha. So we celebrate this great holiday of Matan Torah, the day of Shavuot, which Hachamim tell us, Istakel be'oraita u'bara alma. Hashem looked at the Torah, and the Torah is the blueprint for creating the world. So the Torah itself is what the world is based on. When Hashem was going to give us the Torah, the Midrash says that He asked us for a guarantee. I'm going to give you such an incredible gift. What can you give me as security, as a guarantee that you will really deserve it, or that you'll be able to fulfill it? What? I need a guarantee. Any guarantee they offered was not accepted. But when they offered the guarantee of the children to teach them Torah, that was the guarantee that was accepted. So today, the day of Shavuot, as we celebrate that Matan Torah and we think of that sort of wedding that took place at Har Sinai, we also have to think and realize the importance of educating our children on the way of Torah, because that's the guarantee that we gave. And that's really what makes the eternity of Am Yisrael. When we fulfill the Torah through educating our children in the way of Torah, then we're guaranteeing it's the best insurance policy for the continuation of Am Yisrael. And in truth, the world was created, according to Hachamim, for what was the reason for creating the world. It was so that Am Yisrael would learn Torah. And by them learning Torah, they're justifying the existence of the world. There's a midrash that says that when Hashem asked the various nations whether they would accept Torah when they came, and they refused when He came to Am Yisrael. And He asked them, would you accept the Torah? There was silence in the whole world because the whole world was at a standstill. If Am Yisrael had said no, the world would go back to Tohu Vabohu, to the way it was before creation. When Am Yisrael said, Na'aseh v'nishma, we will fulfill the Torah, we accept. And the whole world sighed a sigh of relief, because now the world is justified in its existence. So it's a most important concept of Am Yisrael, learning Torah, mekayimim et ha'olam. They justify the existence of the world. So this holiday that is coming up is a holiday that we celebrate this idea, and we show again our rededication, our devotion to our Torah, and our commitment to continue not just as a thought that something happened in the past, but continuously day after day to delve into Torah, to learn the Torah, to fulfill its mitzvot, and to teach it to our children, and so that the future generations can continue to celebrate this wonderful gift that Hashem gave us. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen ve'amen.